My dad called me one day and he was like, "Hey, we're the whole family. We're doing an ultra marathon. If you want to do it with us." And I was like, and I laughed it off, and I was like, "No, me, I could never do that." And I hung up the phone, and then like later, I was kind of thinking about the phone call, and I was like, I don't know why I just laughed it off when this is something that I have done in the past. Like I used to be someone that never doubted his own abilities, and now I'm in this weird place where I'm like, no, that's not me. I just like let myself fall out of training, and I didn't have that constant reminder that like, no, you can get hard workouts done. And I just totally had lost that part of my life where it was like, it just felt like I couldn't trust myself anymore. If I told myself I was going to do something, I really didn't believe that I would do it. I ended up just signing up for the ultra marathon, and I trained for it, and I filmed the whole thing, just kind of thinking maybe this would make a good piece of content. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I'm going to film these workouts, and I'm going to film race day, and we'll see what happens, right?
Cody Ko, or Cody Ko as he's better known, has made a name for himself through his signature brand of humor, blending pop culture with his own personal experience as an actor, comedian, YouTuber, and DJ. His videos on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok have garnered hundreds of millions of views, and his humor and relatability has allowed him to connect with fans across the world. While his comedy has made him a bona fide star, Cody pivoted his focus towards new challenges in the form of endurance sport. What began as a challenge to follow in his endurance-obsessed family's footprints and complete a full Ironman triathlon quickly developed into an ongoing passion for training and pushing his limits that's seen him tackle marathons, ultras, and a host of massive endurance feats. In 2023, Cody was the most tracked athlete at the New York City Marathon, and this year he's doubled down on his training and is heading back to the Big Apple to see just how fast he can go. Cody joins the show today to talk training, making the move from full-time comedian to endurance athlete, and how he's keeping things entertaining for himself and his fans along his marathon journey. Cody, welcome to the Shakeout Podcast.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
We're stoked to have you. I think best place to start is maybe with a note of condolence. Yesterday, Harry Styles broke 3 hours in the marathon. You've had a very public back and forth feud with marathon times. Obviously, your LA marathon time this March, 3:29, just a couple minutes off of his personal best at the time. How are we feeling after that heavy news?
I mean, yeah, no, thanks for the condolences. I appreciate it. I'm feeling pretty solemn, I would say, after hearing that. No, actually, okay, when I first heard it, because like a million people DM'd it to me, and then all my family sent it to me as well. My brother-in-law just sends Harry Styles sub-3 Berlin, and I'm like, what? It's like the first thing I wake up to is that text, and I'm like, no. Like the dude has everything.
Yeah.
You can't just leave running to us. You're handsome, you make beautiful music, charming, and now you're a sub-3 marathoner? It's like, fuck off, you know?
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
What is he bad at? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Just be bad at something, please.
Does that sub-3 marathoner now seem like something that you've got to... I mean, you were listing some of his other accolades. A lot could be said that you describe those things as well. Do you want to... Are we now hunting to add sub-3 to that list for yourself?
Are you saying that I'm at par with Harry Styles?
Well, I mean, the beautiful music part we can agree on for sure. Everything else we'll leave up to fans' discretion.
Yeah, the music for sure. Same
DJ
caliber.
Cody Ko,
not as
Harry
handsome,
Styles,
not as charming. The music, though, just as good.
Maybe all the more motivation to get him in the endurance side of things.
Honestly, no, but I was going to say, like, okay, so I first read it, I was like, oh, that's so annoying. Like, how is he so good at everything? But then I was like, I had sort of forgotten what his past PR was. Like, when I first, started talking about this, like, and, making this, like, sort of, like, little fake beef on my channel, I was like, wait, what was that time? And I went back and it was, like, 3:24 or something?
Yeah, I think 3:24 mid in Tokyo this March.
Yeah. Oh, that was this March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty recent.
So that's insane. And under, what, in, like, 6, what?
Yeah, 7 months. He's taken
7 months?
almost 30 minutes off
his time.
That's got to give you hope.
Totally. That's why I'm saying, like, at first I was sort of annoyed, but then I was kind of like, wait, this is actually really inspiring because his PR was kind of the same as mine.
Yeah.
So
that was my thoughts exactly. So to give our fans a refresher, March of this year, Cody, you ran 3:29:41 at the Los Angeles Marathon. Big PR at the time for you. Fast forward, it'll be 9 months by race day in New York, first weekend in November. Harry Styles' big breakthrough. Does this change your goals going into New York City? This will be your second time running the streets of... It's a hillier course. We talked a little bit off air, running the hills
Berlin
of the 5
doesn't
boroughs.
count. Apparently, it's the fastest course in the world. It's like, doesn't even count, dude.
The last few world records were set on Berlin, so I mean, that's why they go there. No one's running world records in New York.
Count. Yeah. Honestly, in New York, his sub 3 probably would have been a 3:40.
Yeah, he's regressed, if anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Take us through a bit of your build, because this will be your second time heading to the streets of New York City. 2023 was, I believe, your marathon debut, if we're not counting a marathon at the end of an Ironman, which is insane.
No, I had done a couple actually before that, but when I was younger. Like I used to, like when I graduated from college, that's when I picked up running, because I used to be a diver, and then like after college, like after I retired that, I was like working, starting to sort of get fat because I had like some expendable income. I was eating out a lot. First time in like the working world or whatever, and so I was like, okay, I need to like get my ass in shape. What do I do? Like, to start going to the gym? I don't even know. Like, without like the structure of college athletics, I was like, what can I do? And my parents, were always endurance athletes, so I grew up watching them do that, and I was like, okay, this is a natural thing for me. Like, they can help me. I'll just start running, and if I, run into problems or whatever, then they can help me through them. So basically, I don't even think I did a half marathon first with my dad, and then I did a full marathon. So that was when I was like 23, 22 maybe. So that was my previous PR, was that marathon.
Okay.
That was Napa Valley Marathon, and I think it was like 3:41 I ran.
Pretty solid for a debut effort.
Yeah, my very
especially
first marathon. I was super stoked. I trained super hard.
Yeah.
And so training for LA, knowing that I wanted to not only get a personal best but also go sub 3:30, it was a little intimidating because I knew my last PR was when I was so much younger. Like, just, I don't know, things get harder in your 30s. Like, I just look at a croissant and I gain 5 pounds.
Yeah.
I have the slowest metabolism in the world, I'm convinced. So like everything is harder now. So I was like, it's like I'm gonna have to train my ass off to break that PR, but also go sub 3:30. And so and then I got injured so I was like, basically, I think what actually ended up happening. Well, the origin of the injury was in December. I basically hadn't worked out or anything for a while. Knew this marathon was coming up in it was in March, right?
Yeah, mid-March, I think.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I got to start getting back in shape or whatever. And my wife and I were staying at her parents' house for Christmas or Thanksgiving or something. And her brother was like, do you want to go to the gym with me? And he lifts heavy weights. And I was like, yeah, I haven't been to the gym in forever. Like, let's go. Let's rep out let's lift some iron. Let's do it. He's like deadlifting like 400 pounds. Oh, and I was
you got to keep up with the brother-in-law too. You got to keep up with the brother-in-law. You can't show weakness.
Yeah, exactly. Can't show weakness around this guy. I'm like, yeah, I can just take a plate off. I'll do 300 pounds. Ended up really messing up my groin. And then I was fighting that throughout the entire training cycle, and I think it really didn't help. In the last like 3 or 4 weeks before the race, I just implemented a huge calorie deficit because I wanted to lose as much weight as I could. Not knowing that a calorie deficit does not, does not make you heal from an injury, right?
Yeah.
It does the opposite. It makes the injury worse because your body can't, use the nutrients to heal itself.
Yeah.
So I was basically like going into LA Marathon with this crazy groin injury that I was fighting the entire time. I just took a bunch of Tylenol and went as hard as I could on race day and like had the day of my life somehow, the race of my life. So that was kind of my training cycle for LA. Like, I was training really hard, but I was sort of like always not really sure how it was going because of this injury. I would take a week off and then come back super hard for a week. It just wasn't really healthy.
Yeah.
I think it was just really like I don't know. I I guess I don't know. This race for New York, I guess I just planned it way better, the training cycle. Like I started a lot earlier, you know, and now it's been like I've been in this training cycle for like 14 weeks or something.
Yeah.
I got a coach. You know, I'm trying to lose weight, but doing it slower, so I'm not injuring myself.
Yeah,
I
let
feel
it happen
healthy. I
naturally
feel
over the
strong.
course of the build.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
ramping up intensity instead of trying to drop a dozen pounds all at once.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I still probably will end up doing that the last couple of weeks before the race.
Desperate times call for
yeah,
desperate
exactly.
measures.
Do you feel a lot more experienced, like going into this one now, like after your experience though in LA?
Yeah, I do. I definitely feel more experienced. I feel like, well, because I've done the race before, so I know what to expect in terms of like the bridges and the hills and stuff like that. But also, yeah, LA was the first time that I like went out, tried to hold a pace the entire time, and it was the first race where I also ate and drank. Like I fueled correctly throughout the whole thing, so I never hit the wall. I felt good the entire time. It was literally the first race. Like out of all the races I've done, all the Ironmans, ultras, or not all the Ironmans, sorry, the one Ironman. Trying to give myself extra accolades here.
One is enough for most people.
We all do
for sure.
Out of the Ironman, like the ultras I've done and all the other running races, like this was the first one where actually start to finish I felt like pretty incredible.
Wow.
And I think I just chalked that up to like eating and drinking the whole time. I just never really figured out how to do that. And
what did that look like this time around?
Basically, I was just drinking a little water or a little electrolytes at every aid station. I never let one go by where I wasn't just a little bit, you know, not to the point of being full or anything. And then I was just, you know, doing a gel every 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay. What's your gel of choice? People want to know.
Untapped maple syrup.
Ah, very Canadian of you.
That's very Canadian, yeah, for sure.
I love those things.
Good. Straight sugar.
I love those things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the gels I find they start making me feel pretty sick after, 2 hours of eating them.
Yeah, it's a long time to be ingesting straight sugar. Just on its own. Are you keeping things kind of the same as you head into New York this year? You know, you've talked about this being a more consistent build, but in terms of the things that worked well for LA, have you been replicating those, or has the coach been prescribing new stuff? Have there been new challenges in this build to try and squeeze that little bit of extra out of yourself?
Yeah, so basically, I would say the main difference is for LA, I made my own training schedule, and it was basically like the general weekly formula was Tuesday speed work, Thursday speed work, Saturday or Sunday long run, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like sort of easier runs. But basically I was running every day. I wasn't really giving myself a day off. And Tuesday and Thursday I would go super, super hard, and then, Sunday my long run was not as much of a workout. It was just like sort of get the distance done, right?
Right.
What's different now with the coach is that there's only usually one real intense speed workout during the week, and then the other speed workout is during the long run.
Yeah.
So the long run is always a crazy workout, right? It's like, this week's is 20 miles, where it's like the first 8 miles or the first 7 miles, I think, is easy, and then the last 12 is like race pace or faster.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping that and then also, the other major difference is that I'm giving myself 2 rest days a week.
Yeah, that's huge.
So I never really feel like I'm that tired or broken down. Like, it's been 14 weeks of training now. I haven't once felt like, I'm overexhausted or I've overtrained, which was a huge thing before, especially like in the Ironman build and also in the LA build. Like some nights, when you overtrain, you just can't sleep all night.
Yeah, you're like so tired that you
I was
can't actually fall asleep.
I was getting that all the time.
Just
I haven't gotten that once now. So that's been really nice, and I feel like I'm experiencing the gains that I should be because I'm recovering and actually, my body's like, I don't know, building the muscle that it should be.
Totally.
And the reflexes that it should be because I'm actually like sleeping 8 hours a night and feeling rested.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's been really nice. So yeah, I think I'm hoping that with these long run workouts where I'm like, running for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 miles easy, and then going, doing the last half of those super long runs at race pace or faster, that I'm getting myself in the mindset of race day, right? So that when I'm doing it on race day, it's not going to feel foreign. It's like, no, I've been here before. I know exactly what this feels like.
Yeah, you're far enough into a run that you're already fatigued, and then you have to try and switch gears and start pushing hard.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I love that you talk about adding in an extra rest day. I think it's a pretty common fallacy amongst marathoners to just think that the harder I work, the better the race is going to go, and they just bury themselves for week after week after week to the point where they're just holding on for dear life to try and make it to the start line in one piece. It sounds like even in your most recent build for LA, there was an element of that where you trained so hard that you end up kind of getting injured, and then it ended up working out for you, but in many cases it doesn't. What have been some of the big learning curves along this journey of endurance sport? You obviously have a pretty high pedigree of athletic background. You dove all through college, like you mentioned. Your parents were both Ironman triathletes and continue to excel in endurance sport. What were some of the things that you had to kind of figure out for yourself when you shifted towards training for these really long, intense races?
I think a big one is holding yourself accountable. I mean, part of the reason I have a coach now is because it really helps, right? But like, having a coach all year long is not really economical, and you're not really training for races all year long, although I probably will be in the future. Mm-hmm. But like, I really think like, sometimes you have a coach, sometimes you don't, but like, it is important for you to keep yourself accountable in terms of sticking to the training calendar. Like, it's something I'm still learning, because when I don't have a race on the calendar, I completely fall off. And so that's something I still need to get better at.
Yeah.
But when I do have one on the calendar and I don't have a coach, I have gotten pretty good at being my own coach, which I think is something that like people have to learn when they start an endurance sport and they don't have a coach. It's like, no, you got to make yourself get out there and do the ride, or like the long bike ride, or like the long swim, or whatever, Yeah. Because no one's gonna tell you to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's a coach can tell you something, but ultimately, like, you've got to be the one to actually make the effort to get out the door and put the work in to get the outcome that you want.
Yeah.
I want to ask about kind of, you mentioned those ebbs and flows of when you don't have a race on the calendar, struggling in the past to stay motivated. Have you found, is it easier to kind of go full cold turkey away from training between races to allow your body to just totally recover and focus on other stuff? You've obviously got a lot of other things going on in your life. Or have you found that the more you've gotten into training for these races, the deeper you've gone along this endurance journey, the more that's had to become like a part of your daily life just because it's baked into your routine and your identity now?
I also still am trying to figure that out. Honestly, like it's funny. Like the older I get, the more I learn that like balance is just not something I'm capable of at all.
Right.
Like in every aspect of my life, like I'm just like an addict in the way where it's like I'm all in on something, or I'm all the way out on something. Mm-hmm. And so like that really, has its benefits, but also major downsides when it comes to work and training. But I will say, like, running is the only thing that I've stayed super consistent with for the past, however many years it's been since I graduated college, 15 or I don't know, 13 years or whatever. Like, besides probably like, COVID and that weird time, I sort of like majorly fell out for like a year or two. Running is something that really makes me happy. I really enjoy it. It really keeps me grounded. And when I don't do it, or I don't do some sort of cardio in the morning, I find like I get weird anxiety, and I just don't feel as calm and at peace.
Yeah. So
it is something that like even when I'm like really out on training, I'll still just do it because I enjoy it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is nice. Like, I just genuinely love it. Like, it just makes me feel like a human. I don't know.
Yeah. Sets up success in all the other realms of your life, I imagine, just by being able to tick that box. You've got the run out of the way. I know for me personally, like, once that's done, I so much better at focusing on other stuff because I feel like I get that endorphin hit. I get the energy out of the system and just feel more productive for the rest of the day. I feel like this is maybe a good point to talk a little bit more about that work outside of running and how that's transitioned, how running has transitioned into part of what you're doing. Obviously, you've been on YouTube putting out comedy videos for years and years. You've gained a huge following of fans across the world that love everything that you've done, the Cody Ko brand. And then a couple years back, you decide to invite them into this part of your life that's existed for a long time, but you've now made it very much part of that public-facing persona with your endurance training. Talk us through a little bit about that decision to bring Cody Ko fans along on the training side of your journey.
Yeah, sure. I guess it was a couple years after COVID, or like when COVID was like sort of winding down, things were sort of getting back to normal. That's when I sort of had this like internal, like, epiphany that like I had to start getting back healthy again because I was just really depressed and just like felt like, I turned 30. It just felt like I was getting like fatter and dumber, and I was like, is this really what like it was scary. I was like, is this really what getting older is? Like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And I just was getting depressed because of it. Like, I had always been a crazy like optimist. Like, that's always been a thing that I've been able to do in my life, is remain optimistic about things. And I just wasn't anymore, and I was like, this is bizarre. I got to figure out what's going on. So I like went to therapy for a while. And through that, I sort of, I don't know, I sort of like started drinking a little bit less. And then my mom or my dad called me one day and he was like, hey, the whole family, we're doing an ultra marathon if you want to do it with us. And I was like, and I laughed it off and I was like, no, I could never do that. And I hung up the phone, and then like later I was kind of thinking about the phone call, and I was like, I don't know why I just laughed it off when this is something that I have done in the past. Like, I used to be someone that never doubted his own abilities, or his own ability to achieve something. Like, I just never did. And now I'm in this weird place where I'm like, no, that's not me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? Why? Like, what brought me here? It's so weird. And I realized, part of it was because I just like let myself fall out of training, and I didn't have that constant reminder that like, no, you can get hard workouts done. Even if it's as simple as like, checking off like the 6 mile easy run on a Monday, it's like, you did it.
Yeah.
Like that that's just like a snowball effect, like internally, where you're checking these things off day by day, and you start to believe in yourself more, right? And I just totally had lost that part of my life where I was like, it just felt like I couldn't trust myself anymore. If I told myself I was going to do something, I really didn't believe that I would do it.
Wow.
I was like, that sucks. I gotta figure out how to trust myself again. So I ended up just signing up for the ultra marathon and just was like, I'll just figure it out. And I trained for it, and I filmed the whole thing, just kind of thinking maybe this would make a good piece of content. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I'm going to film these workouts, and I'm going to film race day, and we'll see what happens, right? So I did the race. It was a 36 mile or 50K, wow. I think. So 36 miles with I think like 9,000 feet of elevation or something like that. It was like this big ass trail run, and super hot day. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. Like I was like stopping on the trail. Like I could hear the finish line, and I was so bonked that I would stop and put my elbows on my knees and just like. I could see the finish line, and I just could not make progress towards it. Have it. Yeah. Wow. Finally finished the race, and I was like, I did it. It's insane. Like, I went from nothing to doing a 36-mile ultra marathon. Like, I'm now an ultra marathon runner. Like, I could say that about myself. And I was like, this is just, I just felt good about myself and about this achievement, and I don't know. I just like totally helped me, turn the corner on this, like, weird sort of lull that I was in. So then I reviewed the footage, and I was like, no, this would make a great video. So I narrated it, told the story of race day, made this video called I Did an Ultra Marathon or something like that, where I told this whole story. And I was really proud of how this piece of content turned out. And people, like, the comments were really positive. People really liked it. And it was a totally different tone than I normally would take, right? It was honest. It was just like, hey, this is something that I did. I'm proud of myself. That's not usually I'm pretty self-deprecating and like, I'm making fun of things and myself, right? This was more like, no, this is like a physical achievement that I set out to do, and I did it. It was weirdly positive, but I felt good about it, and people really felt good about it, and so I was like, maybe I should try and do more of this stuff. And at the same time, personally, I was just like, I need to sign up for another race. I need to keep this going because it just had, it was having really positive effects on my mental well-being. And so around that time, my sister had finished her first Ironman. And so I was the only person in my family that hadn't done one.
There's a trend
tough.
of family peer pressure in your story here that I'm starting to pick up on.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even peer pressure. It's just like, I don't want to be the one, the
black sheep who can't finish an Ironman or an
the one guy at Thanksgiving
ultra.
dinner that can't talk about Ironman.
Yeah, they're all like joking about like
sure you deserve that
transition
second
times and stuff
portion
in Ironman, and I'm like, yeah, totally, you guys. Like, I don't want to be that guy. So, and it's my little sister. She did an Ironman, and I'm like, I can't let her one up me. So I signed up for an Ironman, and in doing so, I was like, okay, I like making this type of content. And I was sort of like poking around on Ironman, triathlete, YouTube, and I was like, I couldn't find anything that was just honest and not like super edited.
Yeah.
There's a tendency with this genre of content to make things super polished and super inspiring, which is great. Like, that serves a purpose, and I really like watching those videos. Like, it pumps you up, right?
Yeah.
But there was nothing that just showed like the honest, like, what's it like actually training, like, learning how to train for an Ironman. Like, I've never done clip-in. I've never ridden a triathlete bike before, or triathlon bike. Like, what's it like being on aero bars for the first time? Like, figuring that whole thing out.
All of the unglamorous sides that go into training for that one glamorous race day clip.
Yes, totally, exactly. I couldn't find anything like that, so I was like, okay, maybe this will be a fun project for me, and maybe people would like to see this side of it. So I started a channel just dedicated to training stuff, and vlogged, my entire training journey for Ironman, and posted a video a week about it. And it became a great series. I'm still like really proud of the whole series, and that's basically the long story on how I started.
Kind of the birth of the Cody Trains YouTube channel, which has now continued on through your successive marathon builds. What has been the response from your fan base? I mean, you had so many people that were already invested in you as a comedian, as a content producer. Did many of them make the jump and follow you over into this new realm? Like you mentioned, a lot of your previous videos and a lot of your comedy videos are self-deprecating. They're kind of riffing off of what's going on in pop culture. And then to produce something that's very much like just an honest, real, raw look into your life and your day-to-day, is that something that fans continued to connect with?
Yeah, I will say something that I didn't really expect, although maybe I did a little bit, because watching training content for me was a big source of inspiration in myself, like training for these ultras and for Ironman and stuff like that. So I kind of expected, I guess, to inspire a couple people at least, but like I get DMs still daily from people that are like, I started running because of you, or I'm doing my first 10K because of you. I'm doing my first half marathon because I watch your videos. I'm doing my first marathon this weekend because I watch your videos. And still every day, like, I get messages like that, and it's awesome.
Were the first messages like super special, or now do they mean so much more because you're just so more deeply sort of engraved into the sport?
I love hearing it because, I don't know, it's one thing for someone to be like, oh, I was a runner and now I watch your stuff, because I relate to it. It's another thing entirely for someone to be like, no, I watched your stuff before because it was funny, and this stuff actually got me in. Like, you convinced me to start running.
Yeah.
And it's changed my life. That's a whole different thing. Like, that is, That's just really cool. I love, I don't know, just because I know what running has done for me, and I know what, like this whole thing through COVID and after it, like what that did for me in my life and my belief in myself and my mental well-being, like the fact that other people are potentially having that sort of change in their life because of me is like just really cool. I don't know, it's a really fulfilling feeling, I guess.
Yeah, and a powerful message for people to be able to look at someone who they already feel like they know and have that connection with, but then to see, oh, well, if Cody can do it, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
Because I think, like you mentioned, so much of the content out there around training for marathons, triathlons, what have you, it's being produced by professional teams around professional athletes, and it can be entertaining, but it's not very relatable. Like if somebody has a coach next to them for every session, if they have a whole team of therapists and training partners around them, that's not the experience of 99% of people getting out the door in training. And we touched a little bit earlier on in this video that most people like you are like, they're working outside of their training. They're fitting it in around family commitments. They're not retreating to the mountains for months at a time to live like a monk, getting ready for a world championship. They're trying to make it work with the rest of their lives. And you've done such a great job of documenting the way that it fits in to the rest of your life. I've loved in some of your builds that you've had to shift things around in a week because you've got a DJ set that you have to perform. But you're somehow managing to reach these big goals while also living like a real relatable life. Maybe the DJ part is not something that people are doing, but they're working as well. Have you found as you've gone along, has it become easier to fit this training into your daily routine?
No, it's definitely gotten harder now with a kid.
Yeah.
Like it used to be easy, because I could just wake up at 5:30, start training at 6, be done by, 7:38, eat breakfast. It was like, I loved waking up early, so it was like the easiest thing. And then you have a kid and everything changes.
Yeah.
So now it's been, it's basically, I have like my time during the day where I work. The training has become like a little bit of that work time where it's like, the first part of my work day now is like training. And then, but yeah, it's like everything changes when you have a kid. So it's, I think you kind of have to embrace the chaos of it. And also like you have to sacrifice other things in order to get the training done is basically what I'm saying. In this case, it's a little bit of my work day now that I would have spent writing a video or whatever is spent training. And I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Are you, have you been out there with the stroller yet?
Oh yeah. Actually, in fact, I was doing stroller runs. Like at the beginning of this training cycle, I was doing even a couple long runs with the stroller. And then I realized the tires had deflated like almost all the way.
Extra
so I was
resistance.
just pushing around, ultra resistance, dude. I was pushing around this like 50-pound weight. Finally filled up the tires, and now it's like a world of difference. It's still a lot harder though running with that thing for sure.
Oh yeah, especially I presume your baby continues to grow larger, which
he just gets heavier.
You just need
and
to
heavier.
get stronger and stronger.
Yeah,
I'm not a dad yet, but it looks easy on paper pushing it around. I think some guy like pushed like a 4:26 mile.
Just
like
weekend.
last week or something.
Insane.
Maybe that's one thing you can get up on Harry Styles is
you could beat him in the
roller runner. I like that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Force him to have kids.
There's definitely some content to be made around that. I think the running as a parent is hugely relatable.
If I become a better stroller runner than him, he's gonna have quadruplets, and then push them all in a stroller and do a sub 3 hour marathon or something.
No matter what
crazier.
gauntlet you throw down, he'll find a way to rise to the occasion
every single time.
He's just that good at life. He's just got it figured out.
Yeah.
Looking ahead to New York this year, you talk about bringing so many fans along the journey, and even reading through comment sections of some of your videos, you now have fans who maybe they watched you run New York 2 years ago. They've been on a running journey, and now you see people saying, hey, I'm also going to be there. I'm also going to be running the New York City Marathon, or this past March, running the LA Marathon. What's it meant to have that in-person fan connection? Has that been different than kind of the digital realm that you were used to existing in as largely as a YouTuber for so many years?
Yeah, that's a good question. because like I totally hadn't really thought of that. But then, like before Australia, which was like the first race that I was, had signed up for, that I documented the entire training cycle, right? So I didn't even think about it. And then on race day, it was like, because also I should mention the Ironman was in Australia, so it was
Yeah.
across the world, right? So I'm kind of like, there's not gonna be any fans like on the course or whatever. Like we're in Australia. I don't even know if I have Australian fans. There was people everywhere saying Corey Carty, Corey Carty. Everywhere were
That
signs.
intrusive
People
art.
had made signs because they knew I was going to be out there, and like I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. And then, so that was like my first taste of that, and it was just like it was really cool, but also like sort of like weirdly a lot of pressure at the same time because like during the marathon, I was so unbelievably just fucked up from the whole race that I couldn't even really react to them anymore, and they'd be like screaming my name, and I'm just like a zombie just hobbling down the street. So I felt bad about it a little bit. Um, and then New York Marathon, the first time I did it, I found out afterwards I was the most tracked athlete.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I found that out after, actually, because
Yeah.
I think it would have
Added
been
pressure
way too much
beforehand.
pressure
Is that
before,
is that
yeah.
cool or creepy?
I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's creepy.
Thousands of people tracking your movement across the biggest
Yeah,
city in
yeah, maybe it is a little
North
creepy,
America.
actually. No, I thought it was cool, but also, like, the New York City Marathon, there's fans, like, every single inch of the course, there's people packed.
Yeah.
So there was so many people with signs with my name on it. I couldn't believe it. So,
Yeah.
again, that was, like, my second sort of taste of that, which was, I don't know, it's just cool. But, again, at that race, at 20 miles, I bonked so hard. So I'm like limping, walking, just limping, and people are like, "Go, Cody!" And then they're sort of like, "Oh, he's not looking so good."
Do I really want to be this guy's fan anymore?
Yeah. So it was
Do you-
cool, but it was mostly embarrassing.
Do you like big city races, kind of like New York, or do you prefer sort of like the smaller, little sparse races,
No,
kind
New
of
York
like the
is
Ultra?
the best. That's why I wanted to do it so badly again. It is the best. Have you guys done it?
I haven't done New York
No,
City Marathon yet. No, but
I just
get
did Boston.
Five
Oh,
deep
nice.
fan crowds on both
Yeah.
sides of the fence is
And
pretty
same-
sweet.
Yeah.
Same thing. It was like start to finish. There was just like it was like a tunnel of people, and I didn't expect it because like the first race marathon I did, it was just like no one was there, and I was like, oh, perfect. Like, and then afterwards, it was like, oh, I wish there were more people there. And then Boston, it's like a
Yeah.
scream tunnel, which I imagine the same thing in New York. Besides like the bridges, right? There's just people everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah, it's so much fun. Like it's like it's just like entertaining. Like it's like nonstop. You're like have shit to look at, so the miles just kind of fly by.
Yeah, totally. You're just in this tunnel of sound with so much stimulation that you
Yeah.
can't even really stop to think of how deep into a marathon you are, how brutal
Yeah.
the Central Park hills are going to be.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
was
until
that-
you hit the wall, and then it's all you think about is like, how much longer do I have? Ugh. I wish these people would stop looking at me.
So what was the big motivation to return to New York City this fall? We've talked about the fan support. We've talked a little bit about looking to continue bringing down your times. What was the driving force behind New York City 2025?
I love New York. I needed an excuse to go there.
Yep.
I wanted to bring my son to New York so he could see it. And it's also the most fun race I've ever done. It's just electric. It is just the best day ever, truly. I had so much fun 2 years ago. It was awesome. So I just wanted to feel that again. I don't know.
And,
Yeah.
and you're bringing the fans along again this year. And I want to spend a little bit of time talking about some of the fundraising efforts that you're doing going into the race this year. That is one of the cool things about New York, and especially for someone who has the platform that you have, is there's always been a charity component to the New York City Marathon. You were, of course, the most followed athlete at this race 2 years ago, so you have an audience that's following and supporting you. Tell us a little bit about fundraising for this year's marathon. I believe you're fundraising for Release Recovery Foundation.
Yeah, so they're an awesome organization that help people beat addiction. It was founded by Zach Clark, who had a little stint on The Bachelor, or The Bachelorette. I forget which one.
He was on the Bachelorette. Yeah.
Yes, Bachelorette. Awesome guy, but he I think was a heroin addict, and is in recovery, and started this organization to help other people that don't have the means to get themselves into, a treatment facility. So they give scholarships out to people that just that need it, to help them beat addiction. And I think it's an amazing cause. It's something that I really resonate with because addiction has affected myself and my family. Like it's something that my family has dealt with in the past. I actually lost my uncle from addiction like 3, 4 years ago. So yeah, it's something that is close to my heart. So I was, happy, very happy when they reached out. And so yeah, I'm raising money for them.
And how can fans help with that fundraising effort?
You can go to the link in this description, I guess. I'll give you
Yep.
the link.
Yeah, we'll put it in here too. And
Yes, and you
I
can
think,
donate if you would be so kind. I would really appreciate it.
and fundraising aside, what's the personal goal for New York City this year? Do you have a time attached? Is it a place? Is it just to be the most followed, most tracked athlete again? Are there a few
Well,
goals?
So yeah, so my goal is 320.
Okay,
I don't know if I'm gonna do it though.
9 minute
Where's,
PB.
where's the confidence? Come on.
Yeah, come on.
I know, dude. Okay, so I was feeling really confident. Even my Strava, you know how Strava has predicted times now?
Yeah,
Oh,
It
it's
was
the
saying
worst.
321 or something for marathon. So I was like, my fitness map was like as high as it's been in 2 years, much higher than where I was before the LA marathon. I was feeling phenomenal. I'm like, I fucking got this.
yeah.
And
If
then I
Strava
went
says
to
I
Europe.
can.
And then I went to Europe, didn't do anything for 7 straight
Oh.
days. And then got back and was jet lagged, and then friends were in town. Basically took another week off, and I just plummeted my progress. Like, and plus I gained a bunch of weight in Europe. So like there's like just
got
under
what,
6 weeks left
yeah.
before the race.
Yep.
So I'm in this weird place where I'm trying to get back into it in the last 5 weeks, which is not usually, usually you got to just maintain for the last 5 weeks.
We will we'll call it a bit of a midweek or a mid-block reset, refresh. You just took some downtime,
Sure.
absorbed all that early
Yeah,
training.
an early taper.
Yeah,
It's-
early taper.
It's
And-
always tough going on Strava too and seeing the fitness chart decline or like your times when they show you the 321 and then you take a little break and it's like
Look at this.
320.
I want to
If
show
there's
you.
anything that running has showed me, it's that the Strava prediction chart works perfectly well when you're feeling really good, but as soon as you're feeling bad,
Oh, yeah.
like that
Oh,
data's
yeah.
garbage. You just ignore it.
Yeah,
Unless
yeah,
it's
that-
telling you what you want to hear.
Yeah, then it's
as
good as gold.
They nailed the algorithm.
Look at this. Okay.
Oh, we're getting behind the scenes look here.
Wow, that is
Oh.
for our
look at
listeners
this- look at
listening
this build
without
right here,
visual.
right?
There
that's
is
like
a
a stage.
Grand Canyon-sized valley midway
And
through
then
the block.
look at this. It just boom all the way down. I
Torpedoes.
was at 105 all the way down to 86.
It almost looks like the Patagonia logo there.
Yeah. Peaks and valleys.
So I'm just getting myself back up. Last week was a 45-mile week, and this weekend I have my hardest 20-miler yet. So if I get that done, I'll feel good.
Okay, that seems like a great place to talk a little bit about some of the nitty gritty. I know our listeners want to hear about what the Cody Ko secret sauce is in the training program. So 45 miles a week, is that kind of as high as you're going to get during this
Yeah,
build?
I was actually kind of surprised when I started working with this coach. I kind of expected more volume.
Mm-hmm.
But
He's more of a-
45 has just kind of been where it's maxed out.
Yeah, kind of a quality over quantity approach, it seems.
Yeah.
A couple days off in there.
Yeah.
And how long will the longest long run end up being between
think
now and
20.
New York? Okay.
Yeah,
We'll save those last 6 miles for race day.
yeah, I think so. I
Right
don't know
on.
though. It depends. I haven't really asked him. I just he programs my workouts on Sunday, and then I do them, and then I get the next round of workouts. So I haven't really asked him what the future entails. But so far, I've done 2 20-milers, and this week will be my third. And so it hasn't gotten higher. I don't think it's gonna go higher than that in the last 4 weeks, you know?
Yeah, by then you're really into the taper.
Yeah.
Are these at marathon pace like efforts, or are they kind of like a mix of sort of like threshold, speed work?
Usually it's so this weekend it'll be first 7 miles easy, which I guess for me now will be like 8 to 8:30 or something like that, and then last 13 miles will be race pace.
Okay, and race pace, that's going to be what? That's
right
like
now it's 7:45.
Yeah,
3:20 is actually 7:38, I think.
Yeah, so kind of that 4:45 per kilometer pace for our metric listeners.
Yeah, so I've been trying to do these race pace sections at like 7:35 if I can.
Yeah, some under speed stuff. What have been some of the favorite workouts, either in this build or historically? What are things that your eyes light up when you see them on that training calendar coming down the pipe?
I actually really like these. What'd you say?
I said or opposite.
Yeah, the health sessions.
Dude, hill sprints, those suck for sure.
Objectively, yes.
That was something I'd never done before that I did for the first time because this coach programmed it. I would say like the 1 mile intervals, those suck ass. I hate those.
Yeah.
I've done a couple or like, you know, a handful of those workouts now this training cycle where it's like, you know, I don't even know. It's just 1 mile feels too long.
Yeah, it's long enough that it's really painful, but short enough that you're hard on yourself for feeling that pain.
Yes,
at least in my experience. Like, it's only a mile. Like when I go and do an easy run, I bang these out, no problem. But then you try running hard for a mile, and it's tough to feel really good about yourself. It's like, well, it was only a mile, yet I felt like ass the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, so those I kind of dread. I just know they're going to be hell. And then the ones that I enjoy are actually these workouts in the long run.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed them because it just makes you feel so confident, you know? You're like, this is the closest thing to race day that I could do. Basically, it's just testing my limits on the latter half of this, you know, long-ass workout.
Yeah, pre-fatigued.
And it just makes me feel good when I do it, you know?
Get dialed in.
Yeah.
Throwing music a little bit.
It's also fun. Like, I find just going out and running 20 miles can be a little monotonous and boring just because you're like, there's nothing to think about.
Totally.
Or there's no like, chunks.
Yeah.
Where in this case, it's like those first easy miles kind of fly by because, you know, it's the workout is split in half or whatever.
Yeah, you're breaking it up where it's, I only have to get through 7 miles.
Exactly.
And then I can shift my focus.
Is broken up like that, it ends up being fun, you know?
Yeah. How do you pass the time? This is something I've been dying to ask. Are you a music guy when you're running? Are you total silence, just raw dogging it?
Sometimes music, sometimes it's podcast. I would say it's split in thirds. Like a third of the time I'm listening to music, third of the time I'm listening to podcasts, third of the time just thinking. Because I find it actually like it's great like thinking time. You can totally just get lost in your own flow state thoughts and the time just goes by. And then it's also like productive life wise because you're thinking about things that, you know, problems that you have in your life or whatever. Or for me it's mostly like I'm thinking about, you know, creative goals or a song that I'm trying to finish or whatever. I'll just grind on that in my brain. And it's good because then I'll sit down later and I'll be like, oh no, I already thought about this, you know?
Yeah. One of those rare periods where you have zero distractions when you're just out there by yourself. You talk about thinking through songs and the production, the creative part of that. How much does your own music factor into your race day playlist?
On race day?
If at all.
Zero.
Okay.
Probably zero. I don't think I'll do music at all actually on race day.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
I think New York is so fun. I think you got to just 100% get just lost in the
let
energy,
the energy and the
vibe,
noise, you know? That the city is providing for you be the soundtrack.
Exactly. Can't let anything distract me from that. But honestly, that's a good question because on a lot of training runs, I'll listen to the demos that I'm working on over and over and over again and just like think about new things or what should change. So it's
Yeah.
which is on one hand productive, but on another kind of not productive at all when it comes to making music, because the more you listen to something, the less you hear it with a fresh ear, as if the less you hear it like someone would be listening to it for the first time, which is the most important thing, right?
Yeah, there
So
might
it's
be a
actually
few.
kind of counterintuitive, a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. There might be a few Cody Ko fans out there who are just listening to your track on repeat on their runs, but probably fewer than who are listening to it with fresh ears.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, I mean, I appreciate people listening to it over and over again, but like the most important thing is what they feel the first time they hear it, you know?
Right.
And that's
Absolutely.
the more I make music, the more I realize like that's a really important skill that requires a lot of discipline too, as a person that makes music, is not listening to your own shit so that you can hear it on fresh ears, because it's the most unbiased. You just hear things, you're like, whoa, why the fuck did I do that? That seems obvious, whatever. Those things don't jump out at you if you listen to it over and over again.
Yeah, you get caught in the details
Yeah.
too much a little bit.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a cliche, but it's almost like the overthinking piece in training. If you're just dwelling on how hard something is,
Yeah.
it just has a way of getting harder and harder. Instead
Yes,
of if you
totally,
can kind
yeah.
of tune your brain out and just sit in it without thinking about it, letting it wash over you.
I think that goes
just
for
kinda
anything
click along.
in life, honestly. Any sort of work, any sort of task, you think about it too much, it just seems impossible, whereas you just take action, just do it.
That seems like a good way to maybe end on a parting word. What is some advice that you would give to fans watching or listening to your content who are still maybe on the fence about diving into this whole world of training, whether it's running or other endurance sport? Maybe they've never done it before. What's the best way for them to take that step if they've seen what you've done and said, you know what, that looks cool, but I don't know where to begin?
Just do it. Just go out there and run. You don't need any gear. You don't need anything. And that, again, I think this goes for most things. I think people get sort of, I don't know, they like make up reasons why they can't do something, whether it's, oh, I don't have the right things, I don't have the money to do it, I don't have whatever. But running is like one of those things. Just go outside and do it. Just run half a mile, run a mile,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Walk if you can't run, like, I don't know. I think that's probably the best advice that I can give, and I think that goes for anything. Like, just take the first step, in whatever you're looking to do.
Yeah, it's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, your first step, it was straight into the deep end with the Ironmans and ultras.
ultra.
But
No, but when I started, I couldn't run. I don't think I could do a mile, honestly. Like, I've been dealing with shin splints since the very first time I ran, and I've learned, like, my body now is sort of adapted, but I still get them. But that first time, oh my God, they were debilitating. Within half a mile, I couldn't even walk. I was like limping because there's just pain shooting up my shins, And it would have been pretty easy for me to be like, I guess this is not for me. But, I just was like, next day I went out, tried it again. Next day, tried it again. Ran a little further every time. Body eventually adapted.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Oh, actually, another piece of advice I would say is just trust the process.
Yeah.
I know that's cliche. You hear it all the time. But I don't feel like people really know. I don't feel like people really know what that means. Like, trust the process is such a phrase that you hear all the time now that it sort of means nothing. But it really is. What it means is that in these moments where it feels like nothing is working, and it feels like this isn't for me, or I'm failing all these workouts, or the song that I'm making is not good, so I must just suck. Like, it's in those moments that you just have to forget that. Next day, just do it again, and just trust that you're getting better and making progress, even if it feels like you're not in this exact moment. Or even in the last week or month, if everything feels like it's going wrong, as long as you're still trying and still trying to move forward, you are. I think you are. If you zoom out enough, you are, and you'll see that eventually. Yeah. That's why, like, this Europe thing last week, I'm like, even though I feel really shitty right now with where my training's at, I know that the 12 weeks I put in before that, that is the process I should be trusting.
Totally.
It's not an excuse for me fucking off for 2 weeks. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying right now, when I feel really shitty about that, I try to think, no, all I got to do is keep trusting the process now.
Yeah.
Don't go too hard on yourself for these 2 weeks where you kind of fell out of it. As long as you keep trusting the process for the next 5 weeks, the process before won't let you down,
Totally. And you zoom out even further, and those 12 weeks build on the previous months and the previous years of training. And I mean, Cody,
come out enough, then you're like, wait, my best marathon time was 3:41 when I was 22. Now, as an almost 35-year-old, it's 3:27 or 3:29. Like, what could it be in a year from now? Fucking
Totally.
Harry Styles just did a sub 3, and his was 3:27 before that. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
anything's possible.
From barely being able to run a mile without shin splints when you first started to now you're banging out workout long runs over 20 miles and well on your way, we believe, to a 2:58 marathon. Pippin Harry Styles, removing all doubt once and for all who the superior marathoner is. Cody, thanks so much for taking the time to be with us today. It's been such a pleasure. And we wish you all the best of luck with the rest of the New York City build, and we'll be looking forward to cheering you on in just under 6 weeks' time on the streets of New York.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, Cody.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks. That was great.
Another huge thanks to Cody for coming on this week's episode. Make sure to check out his training journey as he prepares for the New York City Marathon by following @CodyTrains on YouTube and @Cody Ko on social media. We'll also include a link to his fundraising page in the show notes, so be sure to check it out and donate to the Release Recovery Foundation. We've got plenty of great episodes coming your way this fall, so don't forget to subscribe to the Shakeout Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X @Shakeout Podcast so you don't miss a thing. That's it for this week's episode. I'm your host, John Gay, saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon for your next Shakeout.